Hello, everyone. How are you? I am back. This is Luna Ora, and welcome back to my podcast, The Psychedelic Witch, and to my YouTube channel as well. This is one that I'm going to be uploading on both. And just so you know, guys, those on my YouTube, I started my podcast, so I would suggest to follow me there too, because I will be talking about a lot of subject this year that I cannot upload on YouTube on my podcast. So you can stay connected. You can also join my email list. So on my website, motherisrising.com, so you can stay in touch and I'll email you about everything that I'm doing. I don't send a lot of emails, don't worry. And I have a blog. I have my retreats. I have my books. If you haven't read any of my books, what are you waiting for? Come on. Sex Magic Evolution, Symbols of Sex Magic, the Sex Priestess Manual, and I have probably 9 books at this point. And working on another one, a surprise one for you. So stay tuned. So today we're diving deep into some shit that's going to make you uncomfortable. So good, because you should be uncomfortable. We should all be uncomfortable in this fucked up reality right now. So if you are here for fluffy spiritual bypassing and love and light bullshit, this is not your episode. This is not your space. So click away now. But if you're ready to face the dark truth about what's actually happening to our souls in this world, if you're ready to understand the esoteric warfare behind being waged on human consciousness, then buckle the fuck up, because this is your channel. Yay! I've been talking about stuff that I should not be talking about for years, because that's what I do. And that's why I've been shadow banned, and a lot of my stuff have been deleted from social media, but I will not stop. And I am back more furious than ever. So this is going to be a long one, but pour yourself some tea or some hot cacao, light some candles, and settle in, because we're going on a journey. Now, I want to talk about the rise of narcissism. So something is rising. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I am sure that many of you are feeling it. And it's not just Mercury retrograde, babe. I am talking about narcissism. And before you roll your eyes thinking that this is just another rant about, this Instagram culture, stop, because it's not. This is going to be so much deeper than selfies and filters, okay? We're going to talk about spiritual possession. We're talking about a war on empathy. We're talking about dark forces that have been feeding off of human suffering for thousands of years. And they're having a goddamn feast right now. So we need to talk about this. You want to know why? Because we've been systematically programmed to lower our frequency, to disconnect from our divine essence, to become walking vessels for false light. And the beautiful twisted irony is that the narcissists are actually here to wake us the fuck up. So we're going to talk about all of this right now. Now, let's talk about the esoteric truth about narcissism. Now, listen up, because this is where it gets juicy, and most spiritual teachers don't really won't touch on this stuff with a 10-foot pole, because, they don't want to talk about the ugly stuff. They want to talk about the pretty things and the fairies, which I love fairies. Don't get me wrong. I play with fairies more than anyone because I can walk in my shadows. And so the more you walk in your shadows, the more you can witness the shadows, the more you can walk in your light. So do not be afraid of the shadows. That's where your power is, okay? Now, from an esoteric perspective, narcissism is the inversion of the sacred self. In Kabbalistic teachings, we have what's called the klippot. These klippot literally means shells, or how do you say it in English? Like layers. They're layers. So these are the shells that contain divine spark, but are trapped in illusion. And they can't access source directly, so they become parasitic. And narcissist is essentially a walking klipa, a walking kind of shell, or a layer of the consciousness. They're a fragmented soul that's been hijacked by what the gnosis call the archons, these interdimensional entities that feed off human suffering and disconnection. Now, picture this. You're meant to look in the mirror and see the divine staring back at you. You're meant to recognize yourself as a fractal of God consciousness. But narcissism, that's the artificial intelligence simulation of that recognition. Okay? It's like looking at the hologram of yourself instead of your actual reflection. It appears real. It might even be convincing, but it's completely empty of true substance. So, um, and so now here's where it gets really dark. So I need you to pay attention because this is the root of the epidemic that we're facing right now. And yes, it is an epidemic because the distortion of our sexuality, which I've been talking a lot in the last few years since I started the channel and the Sex Magic School, mostly it's the distortion of our sexuality, which affects every part of our being, every other aspect of our lives. It affects society. It affects our consciousness. It pulls humanity more into the shadow instead of into the light. And because most people, if you don't use sex in a sacred way, you're gonna fall. You're gonna fucking fall. You're going down. Okay. As well as what you're eating. So the two main things are the way we use sex and how we treat animals, especially consuming the flesh and blood of dead animals, because that is black magic. And that's also why I'm not so popular, because I always talk about the truth. And if you really want to evolve and awaken, you cannot eat animals or animal products, because that is literally the definition of black baneful magic. It's blood sacrifice. So if you want to know more about that, stay tuned. But I also have like basically 300 and something videos on my YouTube channel. And I probably mention this in every one of them in all my books, because it's number one. It's so basic. And I know that only in a few generations, people are going to wake up to this and like, oh, yeah, that girl Luna, like 300 years ago, said that eating animals is black magic. I know, I'm way ahead of my time, but it's the truth. So our entire society has been designed to lower our vibrational frequency. And when your frequency drops, you become susceptible to false light possession. Again, something I've been talking about it for years as well. Let's talk about the tools of frequency warfare, the main tools, okay? So we got animal products, right? I'm not here to shame anyone, but let's be real. When you consume fear, trauma, and death, you're literally ingesting those frequencies. The terror that animal experiences in slaughter becomes a part of your cellular memory. You're eating suffering, and suffering calls in more suffering. So basic, so basic. All right. Now, another thing is alcohol. They don't call them spirits for nothing, babe. Alcohol literally makes you more susceptible to spiritual possession. It lowers your psychic defense, fragments your aura, and opens portal for entities to walk right in. Ever notice how people become completely different when they're drunk? That's not just a personality change, that's possession. All right. Possession doesn't have to look like in the movies, like in the Hollywood movies. Possession can be very subtle. And this is what I do in ceremonies. I literally take demons out of people. Like, that's one of my biggest gifts in this world. And trust me, it's not a fun gift that you want to have. The fact that I have a gift to see demonic entities in people, it's not fun. Imagine walking on this world as a little girl, right? In my case, born and raised in Israel, and literally seeing humanity around me possessed. It's fucking scary. But now I've transmuted that and I've turned it into my gift. And so now I help people with that, and I help them raise their frequency and create a sacred union within themselves and in their relationships. So pornography. This is the nuclear weapon of frequency destruction. Okay, porn doesn't just mess with your dopamine, it fractures your sexual essence, your life force, your connection to sacred sexuality. It programs you to see bodies as objects, to disconnect pleasure from love, to mistake consumption for connection. It's literally designed to create narcissistic sexual patterns. So stay the fuck away from it. Now, social media programming, the algorithms aren't just showing you content, okay? They're rewiring your brain for instant gratification, comparison, and external validation. They're training you to become a narcissistic supply source for the system while simultaneously making you hungry for a narcissistic supply yourself. Social media is literally turning all of us into a narcissist, okay? So we have to have discernment. We have to master ourselves, master our lights and our shadow, and just grow the fuck up as well. Because when someone is also has fragmented parts of themselves and of their shadow, of like their little boy or little girl, and they're refusing to grow up, it's kind of like that Peter Pan syndrome. And you're not evolving on this path, you will become a narcissist, or you will at least have a lot of narcissistic behavior in you, because narcissism is also a very childlike, a wounded, pained scared child behavior. Now let's talk about processed food, pharmaceuticals, fluoride, electromagnetic pollution, all of it. The list goes on and on, okay? It's all designed to keep your pineal gland calcified, your chakras blocked, and your DNA dormant. When your frequency is this low, you can't access your true divine self. So the ego creates a false self, a shiny, performative identity that's completely disconnected from the soul. And that false self needs constant feeding because it's not connected to the infinite source within. All right. Now, the false light deception. This is what I talk also a lot about. So here's where it gets really twisted. The false light isn't obviously dark. It's also very seductive as hell. False light looks like spiritual superiority. It looks like the guru who claims to be enlightened but can't handle criticism. It looks like the wellness influencers who preach self-love while secretly hating themselves. It looks like the tantric teacher who uses spiritual concepts to manipulate people into bed. That's why we see a lot of narcissists are very attractive. They're very seductive. There's a reason for that. Like there's a reason why vampires are extremely seductive. They need the source. They need to lure you in. False light is the counterfeit of true illumination. Okay, it's bright, it's shiny, it's convincing, but it's also hollow inside. It's like a beautiful soap bubble that bursts the moment you try to hold it. True light, on the other hand, is humble. True light serves. True light doesn't need to prove itself or dominate others. True light recognizes itself in everyone and everything. False light needs to be special. It needs to be superior. It needs to be worshipped. And it will use any spiritual concept, love, healing, awakening, even tantra, to get that supply. Okay. And this is just talking about in the spiritual world. I don't even want to talk about narcissism in outside of the spiritual realm, right? So now let's talk about the feminine wound and the masculine crisis. I need to speak to the gender dynamics in this shit show, okay? Because it's not playing out the same for everyone. Sisters, we've been empaths, the healers, the ones who hold space for everyone else's pain while our own souls bleed out. We've been programmed to be energetic mothers to grown men who refuse to do their own healing work. The patriarchal system, excuse me for you know my accent. I have words that I cannot say in English. Patriarchal system has literally trained us to be narcissistic supply. We're taught that our own worth comes from how much we can give, how much we can tolerate, how small we can make ourselves to others to feel for others to feel big, and let's face it, especially men. We've been conditioned to mistake trauma bonding for love, to confuse being needed with being cherished and honored, to think that healing a broken man is somehow our spiritual purpose. Bullshit. Okay? And brothers, oh, my beautiful brothers, you've been wounded too. The masculine has been systematically emasculated and then shamed for that emasculation. You've been taught that emotions are weakness, that vulnerability is feminine, that your worth comes from what you can conquer or accumulate. So you've been pushed into this toxic masculinity that's actually the complete opposite of true divine masculine energy. You've been taught to perform strength instead of embodying it, to fake confidence instead of cultivating self-knowledge. The result? A generation of men who are terrified of their own hearts, disconnected from their feeling body, and hungry for the feminine energy they've been taught to suppress within themselves. But here's the plot twist. Here's where the plot twist is going to blow your mind. The narcissist, guess what? They're actually our greatest teachers. Yeah, and I'm talking to us, light workers, empath, witches, priestesses, those who are here to change the fucking world and awaken it with light, with actual light. And light, by the way, is not a fluffy word. Light equals information. That's what it means. It means truth. Light is truth. So if you're speaking the actual truth of the universe, you are a light worker. So stay with me here, okay? So every narcissist in your life, or that it comes into your experience, is a sacred mirror showing you exactly where you've abandoned yourself. They're highlighting every place where you've given your power away, every boundary you failed to set, every lie you've told yourself about love. The narcissistic mother shows you where you learned to prioritize others' needs over your own emotional truth. The narcissistic lover shows you where you've confused intensity with intimacy, where you've mistaken being needed for being loved and honored. The narcissistic friend shows you where you've been performing your life instead of living it authentically. The narcissistic boss shows you where you've been seeking external validation instead of trusting your own inner knowing. They're like this cosmic sandpaper polishing away everything that isn't your true self. And they will usually come to your experience right before you really rise into your full power. And here's the beautiful thing. Once you wake up to the pattern, once you stop being their supply, you become electromagnetic for your true tribe. You start attracting people who see you, who celebrate you, who match your energy instead of draining it. The narcissists aren't just here to take, they're here to teach us discernment. They're here to show us what love is not so we can recognize what love really is. Now, every encounter with a narcissist is an initiation. Yes, a real narcissist will come to your life to fucking burn some shit down. And it is an initiation. It's a test of your spiritual sovereignty, your energetic boundaries, your commitment to truth over an illusion. The question isn't, how do I avoid narcissists? The question is, how do I become so aligned with my truth that I'm no longer a vibrational match for their games? This is advanced spiritual work, my loves. This isn't about demonizing anyone. It's about understanding the sacred choreography of everything and how these energies move and dance together. Okay? There is light, there is shadow in everyone, in everything in everyone. And we all have a tiny bit of narcissism within us or a lot of narcissism within us. But we can all learn how to dance together in the best way and see the reflections that others are giving us and rise above everything. Now, some souls incarnated to be mirrors of disconnection, so others could remember connection. Some souls agreed to play the role of the false, so others could recognize the truth. Imagine how much love a soul has to play the bad guy in your story. I'm going to repeat that. Imagine how much love a soul has to have for you. I'm talking about the soul, not the spirit, not the ego. How much love a soul has to have for you in order to play the bad guy in your story. It's amazing when you think about that. So let's use that and let's really use that to evolve. Let's take all the lessons from that and evolve. It's all perfect. It's all designed. It's all serving the grand awakening. But that doesn't mean you have to be anyone's sacrificial lamb in the process, right? It doesn't mean we have to be friends with these narcissists. We take the lesson and we move on and we grow. That's the biggest gift we can give to that soul of the narcissist and also to the Divine Mother and to ourselves. So, what the hell do we do about it? Now, first, raise your frequency. This is non negotiable. Clean up your diet. Like I always say, no animal products, no alcohol. Clean up your environment, your media consumption. Start treating your body like the temple that it is. It's not just a fluffy word to say my body's a temple. Your frequency is your protection. It's your first protection. It's your only protection. Second, reclaim your feeling body. Now, the narcissistic plague thrives on disconnection. So when we come back to your breath, your rage, your grief, your ecstasy, feel it all, really connect with your emotions. That's how you become unpossessable, and you're not going to be able to attract these narcissists too much. And even if you do, you will be able to dance with that energy with so much more grace and power. Third, develop energetic discernment. Now, learn to feel people's energy, not just hear their words. Notice the difference between someone who's genuinely present and someone who's performing presence. Trust your gut over their charm. All right. Fourth, Practice radical soul honesty. Stop performing your life for people who will never truly see you. Share what's real, not what looks good. Be messy, be raw. Fall in love with your inner truth more than your outer image. That's also how you attract your people. The more authentic and real you are about who yourself, the more self-acceptance you have of this is who the fuck I am. I love it. I'm amazing. I've worked hard to be this version of myself. Own it. Be authentic. You will attract all the authenticity that you deserve. Fifth, stop feeding the beast. So stop chasing validation from people who are allergic to your authenticity. Stop apologizing for your boundaries. Stop giving your light energy, your light to these energy vampires who are addicted to dimming it. Number 6, anchor in sacred relationship. Whether you're with another or with yourself, commit to relationships of equal power, truth, and devotion. This is the new template, okay? This is the medicine. This is how we heal the freaking collective wound. Now, number 7 is remember your divine nature. You're not here to be loved by everyone. You're here to be a channel of divine fire. Call back your soul fragment, invoke your true self, live from that place. Look, we're living through the greatest consciousness experiment in human history. We're witnessing the collapse of the old matrix and the birth of new earth. The narcissism epidemic isn't just a psychological phenomenon, it's a spiritual crisis that's forcing humanity to evolve or dissolve. Those who choose to stay unconscious, who refuse to face their shadows, who remain attached to the false light of ego, they're going to get more and more isolated in their delusions. But those who choose to wake up, who are willing to feel their pain and transform it into wisdom, who are brave enough to live authentically in a world that rewards performance, we're going to find each other. We're going to create the new earth together. The narcissists are actually serving this process. And they're creating such obvious contrasts that even the most unconscious people are starting to wake up. They're showing us so clearly what we don't want that we're being forced to define what we do want. And this is a great example of what happened recently with Aubrey Marcus and his 2 mistresses. I did 2 videos on it on my YouTube. You should watch it. I think you'll be people told me that it was fucking hilarious, and I think it was fucking hilarious. And again, I'm really grateful for Aubrey Marcus and his posse for this construct that they created for us, because they have been doing just this for us. They showed us what we don't want as a society, and a lot of people really woke up from that, especially within the spiritual community. So this is our time, beautiful souls, the time of light warriors, the truth tellers, the witches, the sacred rebels who refuse to play the game. We're here to model what authentic power really looks like. We're here to show what real love looks like. We're here to demonstrate that you can be fierce and tender, powerful and humble, successful and soulful. We're here to prove that you don't have to sacrifice your soul to survive in this world. Every time you choose truth over comfort, every time you set boundary with love, every time you refuse to dim your light for someone else's insecurity, you're practicing the collective healing. You're literally changing the morphic field of humanity. So I'm asking you directly, are you ready to stop being food for their empire? Are you ready to transform your wounds into wisdom? Are you ready to see the narcissist in your life as the sacred mirrors that they are? Are you ready to step into your role as a light warrior in this cosmic battle for human consciousness? Because that's what this is, loves. This isn't just personal healing. This is species level evolution. The old world is dying. The new world is being born, and you get to choose which one you're going to feed with your energy and life force. And again, why it's so important to use our sexual force in the right way. Read my book, Sex Magic Evolution. Start with that one. That's the first book. Connect again with what sacred sexuality really means, not the fucking Instagram version or the TikTok version that people are copying from each other. No one actually talks about what real sacred sexuality is. If you're out there talking about what I'm talking about, please please connect with me. I want to hear it. Because so far, people are sending me all these videos of Tantra teachers, and like all my clients are like, oh, I've been to this Tantra class and this sacred sexuality school. It's all BS. It's all BS. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, and I'm not saying that I'm the best. Fuck no, I don't want to be perfect. But I'm saying that we need to come back to authenticity and real truth and not bullshit each other. We cannot do that anymore. We cannot, for our soul's sake, we cannot bullshit ourselves and each other anymore. And so also when speaking about narcissism, also looking where inside of you, each and every one of us has to look within and find the narcissist within ourselves. Even if it's a little glimpse of it, it doesn't matter. It's there. Look it in the eyes. We have to look at our own demons. We have to look at our own shadows. Otherwise, we cannot evolve into our greatest version. So if this episode lit some fire in your belly, and if you feel like you've been, preparing for this moment your entire life, then you know what to do. Hit the follow button, share with someone who needs to hear it, write me a voice note, and, tell me about your own narcissist mirror, write a comment. I want to witness your story as well. And we all need to witness each other's stories. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you're ready to, for real initiation into your power, you know where to find me. motherisrising.com. The temple doors are open, but not for long. I have very, very limited spots every year for private medicine ceremonies. Retreats next year on 2026. I'm going to have one women's retreat, one couples retreat. Very, very limited spots. Amazing price right now. So get it. The prices are going to go up all the time. And so remember, beautiful souls, truth is intimacy. Truth is love without manipulation. Truth is God alive in your flesh, naked and honest and whole. Truth, just truth. The narcissist came to show us that what love is not. That's what they come to show us. Now it's your job to show the world what love really is. And it starts with yourself. Stay fierce, stay real, stay connected to your soul. And remember, every mirror that triggers you is an invitation to come home to yourself. Every person that seemingly breaks your heart or hurts you just pushes you more and more to yourself. This is Luna Ora, Sex Priestess and a Psychedelic Witch. I'm signing off from this revolution of true light and truth. I love you so much. Please subscribe, like, and share so I can continue making these videos and share the work of the temple. And may the goddess bless you all.